My name is Peter Bruninger.
I'm Terry Oringi with AVShowrooms.
And we're here for Reviewer's View from the Los Angeles Audio Show 2017. It was a great show this year, Terry.
It was the first show for Los Angeles, and it was a great show, Peter.
It was a wonderful show. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to feature some of the rooms that really stood out for us. So Terry, why don't you kick it off? What was the standout room for you?
The standout room for me this year was Audiofile Zone. They had the Spender loudspeakers, the Jadis electronics, and a transrotor turntable. And we spun up some Vanessa Fernandez, Trembled Underfoot, and it was unbelievable. She just exploded in the room. And sometimes on that track, it's a little bit hazy or fuzzy up on the top ends, but this was as clear as a bell. There was no distortion. It was a beautiful, beautiful sound. And
for everybody, it's pronounced Jadis, not Jadi, Jadis. I'll put out a room, the Gamut room. Now, I don't know if anybody in the studio audience here heard the Gamut room, but the Gamut room uses these little RS3i loudspeakers, and they are not inexpensive. They are $19,000 for a pair. And when you look at them, you go, well, why do these speakers cost $19,000? And then when they drop a needle or hit play on the server, you find out why. They're really good. They throw an image that's as wider than the room itself. So they actually melt the walls of the room. And somehow they reach down into the mid-20s. I don't know how they do it psychologically. Now, they measure flat to 28 plus or minus 3 dB. And so that's, not a bad spec. But from an emotional standpoint, they're really giving you reach. And they give you that big bang sound from a very small loudspeaker. So if you live in a small environment, or if you have a second home on a lake house or oceanfront condominium and you're looking for a super loudspeaker, the Gamut is the one, really one you should have on your short list. They had it paired up with, get this, Para Audio, so they made a pair, turntable. And
a reel-to-reel. Are they two-way speakers, Peter?
Yeah, they're two-way speakers. Yeah, yep, and a reel-to-reel deck. And we were playing some master tape copies. And again, it just was the sound just melted. It melted the room away. Pick another room, Tara.
Stein from Germany. I think everything in there was made by Stein.
Yeah.
He was doing demonstrations with his mat and without his mat, or some other mat. And it was very effective when he put his new carbon, I think it's a carbon mat that he gave us?
Yeah,
carbon edition mat that he gave us.
Paper thin mat.
But there was quite a difference in the sonics when he switched mats. So.
Now, we just got back from Munich, and Stein had these giant speakers in Munich. And these speakers that they had at the Los Angeles Audio Show were more of a modest size. And again, they melted the room away too. So we're going to put them on the short list for a winning room here at the show. All the electronics were by Stein. The speakers were by Stein. Everything was by Stein except the turntable itself. The tone arm and cartridge were by Stein. It's Holger Stein, and it's a family business. It's been around almost 27 years in a small town in Germany. Let's see. Let me pick out a room. The Voxativ room. Voxativ, another German company. It's got a kind of a one-driver approach, the louder type approach from years and years ago. Much, much more refined. They make their own drivers. They were introducing the Zeth. It's spelled Z-E-T-H. The Zeth B subwoofer. And when you combine that with the Zeth loudspeaker, and you really have everything. You have flat down to 20, you have 20,000 hertz all the way up, and you have a soundstage that is just wall to wall. Simply just, you're there. Now, we played a track, and the interesting thing is, a lot of the tracks we play, we have to make sure we have YouTube copyright permissions, so they don't black out, or you cannot play Dave Brubeck Take 5. If we played Dave Brubeck Take 5, YouTube would black out the video. It wouldn't even let us turn it on. So we're always concerned. We bring our own music. We have permissions to use a number of recording catalogs. And this track that we played we weren't sure it was going to pass the test. So we went up to the room and uploaded it on YouTube, and it did. And it's a drum, it starts off as a drum solo. And you've got this little one-driver speaker, and you've got these little subwoofers. It's this tall, it's that wide.
And the bass was extraordinary.
the bass was like, it just blew you back.
I'm really glad it passed copyright, because I want everybody to listen to it on the YouTube video.
Yeah, you really want to hear it. It really is the Maxell commercial in reality. Your hair is going back.
Also in that room was the Lyric amplifier. Lyric is a new German company. It's new to North America. It's brought in by Alfred Keynes.
Yeah, from High-End Electronics.
High-End Electronics.
Here in Southern California.
It's a young musician who taught himself how to make amplifiers. And it's very, very impressive with the Voxativ.
Yeah, he tells a story in one of the YouTube videos you'll see here after the show report. Let's throw out another room. I'm going to throw out a room that just took me by surprise. The Focal Quest Style room. Now, there's no way that, you look at these little Class D amplifiers and you go, it's Class D. And I have never been a fan of Class D until this year. Until I heard a Class D amplifier made by Michael Borison called the U300 from AVShowrooms. And that's part of the Danish radio conglomerate that has Rido and the Anzus cables. And this U300 did not sound like a switching amplifier. So here we are, just this morning, in the Quest Style suite here on the first floor. And the Focals were just not in the room. I mean, he played that track, there's a percussion track that just, the bells, the gongs, the drums, the reach in the bass, it was outstanding. Then we played a Petra Marconi recording, and they're Margoni, and she's a partner with her.
It's Musica Nuda.
Musica Nuda, yeah.
The two people in it.
You guys may know Musica Nuda. If you have not heard Musica Nuda, solo cellist and female vocalist, and they're just superb and very well recorded. And we've used them in a number of our videos. The room melted away from me. And these Quest Style amplifiers were simply stunning. They're only this big. They're going to retail between $1,500 and $2,000 each for monoblocks. They're going to be coming out this fall. And we're going to review a pair of acoustic Zen loudspeakers. And I'll tell you, the days of switching amplifiers sounding one-dimensional or cardboardy are over, are officially over. This was, to me, 2017 is the year of the switching amplifier. Terry, how about you? How about another one?
Source AV with the new D'Agostino electronics, and I think wasn't it Focal also?
Yeah, there were the Focals. Yeah, I think it's over on my note, if you could pass my note over there.
I played a track from Fidelio recording, a jazz track that was, it took me away from where I was. So I knew it was a winner because I forgot. I was sitting listening in a listening room in Los Angeles. I thought I was listening to live music.
Yeah, I think the name of the product line is the progression line.
That's right.
Yeah, and they had a progression line stage, and they had the progression line amplifier. And the new D'Agostino meter is cool. I mean, we all know meters are cool. But this was very cool. Again, the dark green motif that you see in a D'Agostino product, and that room simply exploded and disappeared. We played a jazz trio track on that room, and you'll hear it on the video. It surely qualifies as an award-winning room. How about another room, Tara?
Well, I think High-End Zone with the Perfect 8s. Which speakers were they?
They were the Point.
The Point, that's right. And he also had Arender and Ypsilon Electronics, and the Perfect 8, which is wonderful in that room, Peter.
Yeah, I reviewed a pair of Perfect 8 cubes about 4 or 5 years ago, and these speakers I chose from time to time. They're made out of glass, and the glass is very hard to work with as a loudspeaker enclosure because what does glass do? It rings like a bell. And these do not.
These do not.
These do not.
The glass comes from a factory in Germany. It's the only place they can get this glass. And it's no BS because it really is one of the better speakers I think, available today.
Yeah, they have it's like a sandwich material they put when they put the glass together,
Right.
so it's very, you can barely see it with your eye if you're looking at a side panel, but it's two pieces of glass kind of welded together with a fusion material of some type of polymer or some type of elastomer, and it is, it works, and it really, they're beautiful to look at and behold.
Yeah, we played a tango from the album Conversations. It's a collaboration with Amplifiers and Vincent Bellinger. And you could hear Anne's piano coming through at the end of the piece, like I never heard it before. Mostly I was concentrating on the cello in that piece, but this was, Anne's piano was very delicate and very prominent at the very ending.
Yeah,
the
it
closing
really
the song.
was. So let's see if there's anything we've overlooked.
GTT had a very, very nice sound.
Yeah, there was good sound in the GTT room. They were fighting with the walls in the hotel. Some of the walls in the hotel, if you come up and push your hand against them, they actually flex inward.
The rooms were problematic.
Yeah, so we had a little.
We played something from Audio Note Music. It's an album called Pure Cello, and it was beautiful in there. I mean, the small nuances came through in that album. A little bit of the breathing and Vincent's playing was just beautiful.
Yeah, the guy's name is Vincent Belliger, and he recorded this Pure Cello album. Also, there must have been a mic near his mouth to pick up the breathing.
Yeah, you could hear
It's like the Tony Soprano effect from the show The Sopranos, where Tony, you can hear him breathe and outward. Well, this cellist used that technique in his microphone, and they put a mic on the cello, and they also mic.
It's very impressive.
It's very impressive. So,
very emotionally involving.
It sounds like the cellist is right there in the room with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another standout room.
That was also with AudioNet Electronics, Kabbalah Sosna, Revelation, that's the top of his line, cables, Louis Desjardins' Kronos turntable with his power supply.
Yeah.
And the Sonyas, right?
Yeah.
The Sonya
Sonya 2.1.
2.1.
2.1s.
Okay.
Okay, so what we'd like to do at the end of Reviewer's View, before we start the raffle, is we'd like to pick a product we'd like to take home. And we used to have it so we would take home a product. So it would be like a DAC, or a turntable, or a cartridge, or a toner. And we've been evolving this year, and now we're allowing ourselves to take whole rooms home. So I'm going to start it off with Terry. What would you take home from the show, this Los Angeles Audio Show 2017?
I think the Audiofile Zone room.
Wow.
Because those spenders really surprised me.
Wow.
Gary, who is the proprietor of Audiofile Zone right here in Southern California, really knows how to put the electronics together with the loudspeakers. He's very talented. This is quite a room. I think it'd be something that I could live with forever. Also, I want to mention that it was all wired up by Y-Wires. That's Alex Sventisky's company. Very good stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been thinking about this for a while. What do I take home? And they're here at this show. They were in Munich. They were also at Expona. They're a giant pair of tube amplifiers, and let's see if anybody can guess them. They have a little bit of an elastometer in them, so that the top moves back and forth. Does anybody know which ones I'm talking about? They're the back statements. They're, beautiful to behold.
Yeah.
And if you've seen any of the back equipment, the preamplifier has the clear top so you can see into the componentry. So that would be my take-home product for the show.
And I want to mention that VAC won the Alfie Award for electronics or for amplifiers.
Yeah,
last night.
Yeah, last night at the show at the award dinner. So that was very cool. Well, I want to thank everybody for attending Reviewer's View from the Los Angeles Audio Show. We're going to do our raffle next, so let's get to the raffle. Thank you very much for attending. Thanks.